my name is Ping. Great to meet you at MRC. Could you introduce yourself?
My name is Vicki Larson. I'm the head coach of the Minneapolis Rowing Club as well as the head junior coach, and I've been here since 1991.
My name is Rachel Bizey. I'm the assistant junior coach here at MRC. I've been here about 4 years, and before that I rowed at the University of Minnesota. I actually got recruited to row from New Jersey, and that's why I ended up actually staying here in Minneapolis.
Thank you so much. Could you say a little bit about this club and this river and about rowing?
Sure. I can tell you a little bit about personally for the adult program, for our juniors. We've been at this site at the rowing club since 1930. Obviously, I'm not been here since 1930. As I mentioned, 1991, and it's been quite a journey. This stretch of river is special to me. I've seen it grow and change from almost no eagles, you think about wildlife, to having them all over the place, watching them fish regularly on a daily basis. And the cranes, it's a really pretty spot. It's I don't know if you think about it that way, like just to be here on the site. What about you?
It's a really protected stretch of river too, so to have a really cool place where a lot of different walks of life end up converging. We see lots of people come down and use our docks to fish and to mingle with different people. A lot of people walking along the river. It's a cool city. It's a really unique attribute that our city has a place that people can come walk alongside and interact with nature like that, and just for the rowing community specifically, having a long stretch of river that's this protected and this accessible is really unique, especially in this part of the country.
Right. Yeah, we see canoers, we sometimes see kayakers, and it's pretty cool, and you feel like you're not in the city while you're in the city.
Right.
Yeah. And having access, especially, like I said, I rowed at the University of Minnesota, so having a Division I rowing program, having access right on campus to a stretch of river like this is a really unique draw to our university and to the city. And it was the opportunity that I had to go to school. And having people have access to the river, having students having East River Flats right there is a really cool and unique thing.
Yeah, this stretch has two pretty big clubs. One is Minneapolis Rowing Club, the other is University Rowing Club. And how many rowers do you think these two clubs host?
The Minneapolis Rowing Club every year is approximately 300 members, but that doesn't capture all of it. We do also learn to row classes just to outreach, like one-day classes to experience rowing, to get out and see the river and enjoy the section that we have. We have high schoolers that come and do the learn to row, then eventually join, as well as adults. So there's quite a range. At the University of Minnesota, there's probably, about 100?
About, give or take, 10 to 15 on the men's and women's side. Both a men's club team and a women's varsity team are there. And then, like we said, there's like the Wilderness Inquiry and other exploration groups that will canoe and kayak, and they'll access from the river up there.
Right.
Yeah.
I understand University of Minnesota has a state-of-art
boathouse.
Club,
yeah,
boathouse.
They've actually won awards, and this boathouse has actually won awards as well. They're definitely really cool architectural attractions, and without rowing, they wouldn't be here.
What does rowing mean? What does it mean to people, especially, young people, people of color, and women athletes? Is it just a sport, or does it mean more than just sport?
Yeah, so rowing grow tremendously with Title IX. It's a huge way that is open doors for women to be varsity athletes and provide full ride scholarships to colleges across the country. The University of Minnesota is one of those. Also, I think it's a really big unifying factor, as we see with the juniors. We said we both coach high schoolers. That's the junior program, and watching them learn how to grow in character and teamwork and work hard on something outside of their school has been really cool to watch them grow as people and grow in integrity. I don't know, would you have anything else to add to that?
I do. It's pretty amazing to have an opportunity to get kids out of doors. So often they're stuck at their desks, they're at their computers, and if we can get more kids to come down and be outside and get the exercise, and it's been life-changing for many of them, and to see them change to go from being able to hardly lift anything to being capable and confident young adults and know that they're going to take this into adulthood, whether they stay here or go elsewhere. And it's not just the high schoolers. We have adults, and yes, you can think of it as a sport, we're just going out to have a good time, but time and time again we see older men and older women coming and needing to get their bodies back. They need to figure out how to get healthy, and this has been a way to do it. And we have people that row anywhere, obviously from like 13 and 14 up into their 70s. It's a low impact sport, it's a lifetime sport. People come in and expect to just get it for the exercise, and they're finding a whole lot more that comes of it. And it carries over, whether it's camaraderie and friendship, to competition, to getting away from the struggles of life, and to really depend on one another and find out what true teamwork is.
Yeah, that's amazing, because I know this river, this club and this sport saved my life and also changed my life and transformed my body and mind.
Yes.
And also my son.
Yes.
Ariel, he wrote
Yeah,
with
Ariel
you.
rode for us.
Yeah,
For a while. Yes.
and you should see him. He's lost so much weight.
That's the next thing. So I
Yeah.
studied kinesiology in college, and in America we have an obesity epidemic.
Yes.
We're extremely sedentary, and
Right.
so having access to a sport that you can do that is low impact, but it is high output, teamwork oriented, it really
Yes.
helps in all aspects of health, not just physical health, but also emotional well-being
Right.
and social health. And so having a sport that includes all of those and make it accessible to all age groups
Yes.
is a really unique thing that rowing brings.
What would be the difference rowing in the river and the lake, wide river?
Well, one thing I guess I was going to mention here too, along with this, is that we're in the city. And, you know, right now we have a fairly small population of juniors, but trying to bring more down to increase accessibility, because it's here and it's easy to get to. A lot of the lakes, people have private homes, or
Right.
there's motorboats,
Right.
or they don't allow motorboats, or, you know, so it's a lot more difficult to break into that piece of it.
Right.
They're also smaller. They don't have the same access. The standard distance that we race is 2,000 meters, and
Right.
there are people that can row on lots of different lakes. Like Lake Nokomis is popular, but you can't even get a 2,000 meter race in there. So for us to be competitive and have a junior rowing program, we need at least that. And having this stretch of water is huge. And like she said, the accessibility of it. If the U were no longer on the river, they would have to commute, and that would decrease not just accessibility, but just the amount of people that would come out for it.
Right.
To have a team at that caliber at the Big Ten really matters to have something like that close to campus.
Right, and also the river being the wild river teaches us so much,
Right.
right?
It does.
Yeah.
There's definitely respect for the river as it is.
Yes.
And Mother Nature.
Yes.
And being responsible
Right.
and being safe and paying attention. And
Right.
there's a whole lot. The fact that we have the opportunity, especially the kids, to be on this stretch.
Right.
Right.
So,
And if we lose this pool, if the dams are removed, where could University of Minnesota Rowing Club and the Minneapolis Rowing Club, where could they go?
They would send us out of the city, basically. Like, there's way too much traffic and homes on the local lakes that are in the city, so we'd probably have to go out to, I would say, Medicine Lake, maybe. It would be far, and it would really displace us, and maybe not even allow us to grow as a club as we know it.
Right.
I mean, it'd be really difficult.
And we would lose a lot of members.
I think we would. You know, I suppose we probably could row just about anywhere. It's hard to know for sure. There's a lot of process. I don't know if we could have a spot on the river further up, further down.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is the ideal. This has been our home for
Since 1930, if not a little bit before that. The
Yes.
last boathouse was built on this site in 1930, so it's at least that.
yes. And we all like passionately love this gorge, love this river,
Yeah.
and love this sport.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much for
Yeah.
this
You're welcome.
time
Pleasure.
and
Yeah.
your effort into this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, thank you.